utro nocinalos serum I holidnum. V malincum perulk vozil avtoservisa, Gita bikno ostavlali dorogi masani sostodelni klienti, stols verkauzij cernij, Mustang. Ego Vladilek Bialodnum is Samai Vliatelni Biznesmanov Garoda, Alexander Gromov, Selovic s Zestkum Harakterum, Kodorogo Manogi Bolus. Novi tot den vozil masani stoala ne Roskozna model, ne mehanik v fermentage form, a harupka devika let semnadkat es vikovetsej kurt koj I sterimi krosovkami. V ruka une bila vitos, a radum, vedro s vodoj, mutnojot mila, ona berezno, pakti trapetno, protirila bok avtomobila, budto kasalas sego to svatogo, e zavali anna, ona podrabatavala jid tolko mogla, mila vitrini, pomagala sozdgam nosit sumki, ubralas v kavartira, anagda kato to podkitaval ij slukajnu rabatu na avtomojki. No sagodna Anna prosto risala podrabitat u obosini, zametiv priparkovanij avtomobil, ona nadealas, esli vladilek vidat I uvidit easterani, timozit brosit malak ili hoda by ne praganit. No, poglosena rabitoj, anane zamkala, sito za I spinoj uz neskolko minut stoit muzjina v dorogam palto I nabludit. Ona rabitala I tiho napavala seba pod nos. Melodia bila nezna, nemnago pekelna, slovno napolnina toskoj I mektoj odnavrameno. Slova ona ne proiznosila, li melodikno tanula zinakamij motiv, kotarij vidrug gluboko zadal srdci gromova, on uznal etu melodiu. Davna pesna, kotaru kogda to napavala ego mat, kogda on bil malsakam. Ona kastos of ukala ve malenkoj communalnoi kavartire, kogda mama gotovila kartosku na starij plidili starala bel v tazu. Este por prosli desatki let, gromov stal miliardarum, postroil imperiu, no tu pesnu ne slisel ni razu. I vidrug, zeeds, vozil svogo, mustanga, poet bedna devkonka v starij krtki. On estelil sag blise, I scripts nega pod ego botinkami zastavil anu vizidragnit. Devika rezko obernalas, ispugovsis, sito e sekas budut rugat zaata, sito trigate kazumasanu. V glaza melknula panika, no ona vis z shala trapku v ruka I tiho proiznala, prostite. A prosto hotela posistit, ne besplatna, esli ne ponravitsa, uja, golos e drozel. Kazalos, sito odno neverno slovo mozit razruzit visu e harupku uverenist, no gromov ne skazel nisko grubogo, on tolko smotril na ne, smotril I vispominal, mamani ruki, zapahel ba, staru lampu, pod kotaraj on dalal uroki, I tu samu melodiu, jid tai usli sala, nikonik proisnus on niskam galasam, ananes razu ponala, ona mornula, rasterano posmotrela na nego, sito usli sala. Pesnu, tiho skazel on, ti napavala, otkuda ti zines, devika opustila glaza, slovno bolas, sito e ogvinit v gemtu, podum kut slisno at vitilla. The lunch rush had just ended at Maplewood Café, a small diner tucked into the corner of Main Street. The hum of conversation still lingered, the smell of fresh coffee mixing with fried bacon and buttered toast. Behind the counter, Janelle, a young black waitress with a bright smile and an energy that kept even the crankiest customers at ease, carried a tray of empty cups back to the kitchen. That's when the bell above the door jingled. Heads turned as a man slowly rolled in, maneuvering his wheelchair with visible effort. His face was tired, lined with years of struggle, his jacket patched with old military insignia. It was clear to anyone watching, he was a veteran. He paused near the door, almost embarrassed to be there, before steering himself toward a corner booth. Janelle immediately noticed him. She walked over with her usual warm smile. "Hey there, sir. Let me help you get comfortable," she said gently, moving a chair aside so his wheelchair could slide closer to the table. The man gave her a grateful look. "Thank you, miss. I don't usually like asking for help." "No need to ask. You served us, right? The least I can do is serve you back," Janelle replied. She made sure he had space, then handed him a menu. But as he fumbled to hold it with shaky hands, Janelle leaned closer. "You want me to just read out the specials?" The veteran smiled faintly. "That'd be nice." While she recited the menu, a few customers nearby watched. Some with sympathy, others with impatience, as if his presence was slowing everything down. At the register, the cafe manager, Mr. Wallace, was already frowning. Janelle took the order, chicken soup and coffee, and hurried it to the kitchen. She slipped back to the veteran's table with extra napkins and a soft reassurance. Don't worry about rushing. Take your time. When the food arrived, she noticed him struggling with the spoon. Without hesitation, Janelle crouched beside him, gently steadying his hand. Here, let me help you. The cafe grew quiet. A couple of younger men snickered, but most customers watched in silence as Janelle patiently helped the veteran eat. She even cut his bread into smaller pieces so he wouldn't struggle. The veteran's eyes shone with gratitude, though he tried to hide it. But Wallace had seen enough. He stormed across the room, his face red. Janelle, a word. Now. She looked up, startled, then whispered to the veteran, I'll be right back. In the back office, Wallace slammed the door behind them. What do you think you're doing? He hissed. I'm doing my job, Janelle said cautiously. No, you were spoon-feeding a customer like this is some kind of charity. Do you know what that looks like to paying guests? It makes them uncomfortable. Janelle blinked. Uncomfortable. He's a disabled veteran. He deserves respect. I don't care what he is. Wallace snapped. We run a business, not a nursing home. You embarrassed this cafe. Pack your things. You're done. The words hit her like a slap. You're firing me for helping a veteran eat. Exactly, Wallace said coldly. Hand in your apron. Now. Janelle's chest tightened, but she refused to cry. She pulled off her apron, set it on the desk, and walked out with her head held high. She paused only to smile reassuringly at the veteran. Take your time finishing. I'll be okay. But the veteran had seen everything. His hands trembled with anger. Slowly, he pulled out his phone and typed a message. 15 minutes later, the bell over the cafe door jingled again. Only this time, it wasn't one person entering. It was 5 Marines, tall and broad-shouldered in uniform, boots heavy on the tile floor. The cafe went silent. Every head turned as the men walked in with purpose, their presence commanding the entire room. One of them, a decorated sergeant, strode up to Wallace at the register. Are you the manager? Wallace stuttered. Yes, sir. Can I help? You fired your waitress for helping a disabled vet. The sergeant's voice boomed. The cafe froze. Customers whispered, pulling out their phones to record. Wallace paled. She was disrupting service. Wrong answer, another Marine barked. We just got a call from our brother here. He pointed to the veteran in the corner. The man raised a shaky hand, his eyes watery. The sergeant leaned over the counter, his voice low and dangerous. Let me make this clear. That young woman showed more honor, more respect, more dignity in one afternoon than you've shown in your entire career. And you think firing her was the right move? Wallace opened his mouth, but no words came out. The Marines didn't wait. They turned to the room, their voices echoing. Where's the waitress? Janelle had been standing outside, stunned, but now she cautiously stepped back in. The Marines immediately surrounded her, one of them clapping a hand on her shoulder. This woman, the sergeant declared, is a hero. She stood up for one of our own when nobody else would. She deserves respect, and she sure as hell deserves a job. Applause broke out among the customers. Phones flashed as people captured the moment. Wallace, red-faced and sweating, muttered something about company policy, but the Marines weren't finished. You've got 2 choices, the sergeant said, his tone final. Reinstate her with an apology, or we make sure the entire town, and every Marine base within 100 miles, knows how your cafe treats veterans and the people who care for them. Wallace's jaw worked, but he could see the phones recording, the customers glaring, and the Marines standing tall. He swallowed hard. Fine. She can have her job back. Not good enough, the sergeant growled. Say it to her face. Wallace turned stiffly to Janelle. I apologize. You're rehired. Janelle stood frozen, her hands trembling. The veteran in the corner lifted his coffee cup in salute. The Marines gave her nods of approval, one whispering, "Don't let anyone dim your light. You did right today." And for the first time since walking into that cafe, Janelle let herself smile. Mama Pella. Ona visegda I Pella, kogda starala ili gotovila, as detstva I pomnu, at slova uderali gromova v samoe srdci, on pokupstivioval, kak venutri sidota,